Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Balharry from the Selkirk Record, and I serve on the board of directors for the Selkirk Biz for the past 6 years. I wish to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. Welcome to the 2021 State of the Region Address. This is our opportunity to connect and share current activities and future plans. Selkirk Biz has hosted this event for the past 10 years. We certainly missed hosting this last year in person and are grateful for the opportunity to gather here digitally in 2021. Today we have mayors and council from 5 of our municipalities. Please wave when you are announced. RM of East St. Paul, Mayor Shelley Hart. RM of West St. Paul, Mayor Cheryl Christian. RM of St. Clements, Mayor Debbie Fiebelkorn. City of Selkirk, Mayor Larry Johannson. RM of St. Andrews, Councillor Matthew Prychun. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get right started with the questions. First up, we have RM of East St. Paul, Mayor Shelley Hart. I'll ask the question, Shelley, and then you can unmute to speak. Question 1, what is the leadership doing to help the businesses out of the hardest downturn in your RM?
Thank you, Michelle. Well, first and foremost, in 2020, we reduced the tax burden for businesses and obviously for residents by cutting our mill rate last year by 5.4%. Had a significant impact on the amount of money the businesses had to pay out of their pockets. We currently have a very competitive mill rate of 8.470, and we are accomplishing this with only 1.5% businesses in East St. Paul versus a margin of 97.4 in property taxes. So it's a pretty significant gap that we have between business and residential properties. Very early on in the COVID realities of 2020, we gave several local businesses permission to place temporary mobile signs, advertising curbside realities, deliveries, pickups on RM property. Businesses were really in the throes of trying to adjust to the realities of COVID and trying to change their business model. And this was one way the RM was able to reduce the burden of required around temporary signage, saving them both time and money. They had enough things to worry about. This took one of those items off their plate. We extended the due date for taxes in 2020 by a month, and we waived the penalties on water bills for 2 billing cycles. And I think lastly, what we saw both in the context of social media and regular media was the support local movement. It really was encouraging to see communities rally around the businesses that have supported them for years. And every year in East St. Paul, we cater a Christmas lunch for our staff. And obviously in 2020, we were not able to do that. So in lieu of the Christmas gathering, we put together a gift bag for our staff and for every member of our staff. And in that, besides a gift card for cash, we included gift cards to local restaurants and chocolate that was made locally and is sold around the capital region. So that is the way the leadership here has tried to help out the businesses in our community. Thank you.
I forgot I was on mute. What is the long-term vision for the next 5 to 10 years for the RM of East St. Paul?
Great, thank you. East St. Paul has a 10-year strategic plan from 2019 to 2029 with 12 key strategies guiding that vision. Infrastructure, without question, leads those requirements. Our wastewater treatment plant, which was originally built in the late 70s, early 80s, needs an upgrade as well as an expansion. And we're in as well as the development of water wells in our community. So water and sewer needs are very high on our list. Once those water and sewer needs are in place, both for our current needs and future development in our community, it will increase, allow us to meet some of the other strategies we have, which include increase in our commercial business, development of homes, and obviously managing the increase in our population. We want to build a multiplex with a daycare. That will be later on in the strategic plan because of the significant needs around our infrastructure projects. And the beautification of our community is something we have really taken to heart the last few years. We have been members of Communities in Bloom for several years, and that really elevated our game in how we looked at our community. And we got so many positive comments about just the flowers and the beautification all around our community. Really, we were very supportive of Community in Bloom, but I think we got out a lot more than we expected to. So we're certainly hoping that continues. And the town center in Birds Hill is one of our key areas because it's much like our gathering place for our community. Most of our retail and our multi-family units are being built in that area. So really the development of that Birds Hill town area is high on our list, and build our community resiliency, especially around climate change.
Perfect. What are the top 3 issues on the radar for the RM?
Sure. I love quotes, and one quote I heard recently really resonates here. It says, don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget and I'll tell you what you value. And I thought that was quite apropos. But first and foremost, it's going to sound repetitive, but it is because it is so important. It's our upgrade and expansion of our wastewater treatment plant. And we have at this point completed 90% of those engineer drawings. And we're anxiously awaiting announcements on ISIP funding. I know a lot of RMs across Canada and cities across Canada are really concerned about the federal funding announcements on ISIP projects. So far, we've spent in excess of $1 million just to get our engineered drawings and get to this place to be ready when that funding is announced. Number 2 is our expanded water supply. This year alone, we have several significant water supply related projects, 4 key projects. We're upgrading the computer systems that run all our wells. That's an $800,000 project alone. We have the Bray Road well feasibility study. That's a $200,000 project. We have our water treatment plant distribution line twinning at $450,000, and construction of a water looping project, which will cross the PTH 101 for the Countryside Crossing development, which is just on the south side of the perimeter at Henderson Highway, and that's a $1.7 million project. The third, and it's not an infrastructure project, but it certainly is going to have an impact on development in communities around the capital region, and that's Bill 37 and its impact that it's going to have. It's a provincial bill, which is pending confirmation. Our understanding is by the end of May, that bill will probably be proclaimed by the province. And it will have a significant impact on how RMs manage development at the local level, with decisions of local councils appealable now to the provincial municipal board. That has never been the case before, so it certainly affects local autonomy. Further, the province has mandated within that same bill that the Winnipeg Metro region coordinate the development of Manitoba's first regional plan, which forms part of the legislation, but the details will be in the regulations, which will come in the next year plus. And the plan includes density targets for municipalities, which will shift, again, be that shift in autonomy that councils currently have, and it will definitely be a change on how communities manage development. Those are our top 3, Michelle.
Great. That leads us into the next question. How do you balance residential, commercial, and agricultural development?
Sure. In many ways, East St. Paul is somewhat of a homogeneous community. We're predominantly single-family homes, and most of our business serves small local needs. It's been the last two councils of 2014 and 2018 that have approved several multifamily developments where none existed previously, and that was by design and by choice of previous councils. Over the past 4 to 5 years, we have built a 2-story eightplex on Birds Hill Road, a single-story 18-unit attached townhome complex on Birds Hill Road. A 3-story 48-unit apartment block is currently under construction on Hodnott Road, just outside of the town center. And we have 61 multi-family units planned in the Gateway Point development, which is just off of 59. You can see the construction and the sign there. That is in conjunction with 36 single-family homes that they have. So it's a development with different types of residential options there. That is a total of 135 single-family units in the last few years. And it is giving our residents a place to downsize in place. Previously, residents that had a large half-acre, 10-acre, 5-acre, 1-acre lot really could not stay in the community unless they had family or help outside of themselves to maintain properties as they aged in place. Our proximity to the city of Winnipeg doesn't create a demand for significant retail business. But our residents do want some businesses and for convenience and also for that feeling of community. We have lots of residents gather at places like Jonesy's in our town site and businesses like that, and we see at our Sobeys grocery store. So we really have a small presence, but a much loved presence that keeps our residents local for many of those needs. Our development plan has identified areas suitable for commercial business growth, and we're working towards the infrastructure that's needed to be able to grow that side of our community. Our municipality by size is really small. It is only 16 square miles. We're the smallest in the capital region, and so we specialize in only small farming enterprises, not the large farms that you'll see in many rural municipalities. And those small farms is really what was the genesis of our community. We began as a farming community when settlers arrived and worked the long, narrow lots that come off Henderson Highway all along the Red River. And the fertile soil there really encouraged that kind of growth in our community. So as most people know, no summer is complete without taking that drive down Henderson Highway, picking out your vegetables on the roadside stands and ending up in Lockport for a hot dog at Skinner's. So it is really a balance of small business, small agriculture, and predominantly at this point, residential, which we are trying to maintain, change, and grow the other portions of our community.
Thank you. And the final question for you, Mayor Shelley Hart, would be short-term goals for the RM under 5 years to achieve these visions.
Sure. Our infrastructure needs, I probably mentioned it probably in every response because it is such a key need for our community. It has to be underway. That's both the sewer and the water projects in the next 5 years. With these in place, then we'll be able to increase our commercial tax base. And again, it's currently only at 1.5. Over the last 2 budget years, we have increased our spending in rec facilities and outdoor assets, our outdoor spaces. And especially with COVID, we've seen, I don't think any of us have ever seen so many people outside enjoying the outdoors. And we certainly last year anticipated that, did some improvements. We paved the Raleigh in the city of Winnipeg, the pathway that they have between Raleigh and Gateway extends right into the RM of East St. Paul, and we paved that entire portion of ours, which is just under 4 kilometers. last year. And this year alone, we have committed almost $2 million to recreation facilities, both indoor and outdoor, in this budget year alone. So we've made a big commitment to those outdoor assets that we have. We don't anticipate that the need will go down. We have dedicated substantial time and effort to our funding as it relates to climate change. We've applied for and we have been successful for several federal and provincial grants over the last 3 years to both prepare our climate change plan, which includes 3 key reports, as well as conduct infrastructure projects related to climate change, including the one we're just wrapping up this spring. It's a $1.5 million drainage project that we call the Texaco Eagle Creek Drain. And we received $1.2 million in funding for that project, a real quick change application period last year. Our staff pulled together an amazing application and we received, that was full funding. It wasn't even matching grants. So we were able to do that drainage project, which has a big impact on the drainage in our community. We have several other water quality projects going on, and we are naturalizing our parks, open spaces, and requiring new developments to do so, and steadily increase the number of trees we plant every year. Our 3 climate change action plans, climate action plan reports include our risk and vulnerability assessment, our resiliency plan, and the final and the most important one, really, which is the get up and go and get the work done, is our implementation strategy. That report has 43 action items identified to address our community's response to climate change. So it really gives us our to-do list for the next, certainly several years, but a lot of them will be completed in the next 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Shelley. That was great. So that is the conclusion for East St. Paul. Thank you, Mayor Shelley Hart. I'm going to move on to the RM of West St. Paul now. Mayor Cheryl Christian. Welcome, Cheryl. My first question to you is, what is the long-term vision for the RM of West St. Paul, your 5 to 10 years?
Thank you, Michelle. The RM of West St. Paul has focused a lot of attention on long-term planning for our community. We've recently completed a comprehensive community strategic plan with over 600 participants. We asked residents in our community and business owners to complete a survey. We held 4 focus groups with residents, community groups, and volunteers, and members of the business community. That plan has recently been approved by council and will soon be mailed out to every home and business in West St. Paul. So our strategic plan will help guide our administration and council and direct our limited resources where they're needed most to help plan for the future of our community. And that plan takes us into 2026 and beyond. So our long-term planning will focus on safety, superior municipal service, community beautification, and 6 other key strategies. And of particular interest to our business community is our strategy to work with developers to create retail space that will enhance the lives of our residents and provide convenience. Residents asked for retail space as part of our strategic planning, and council and administration is working to make that vision a reality in the next 5 to 10 years. We've negotiated and almost completed 2 large retail developments. Our municipality has over 130 acres of land west of Main Street, both north and south of the perimeter highway that is zoned commercial. And these have the potential to add over 300 million to our assessment base. Our vision for the future also includes well-planned and well-managed residential growth. We've got a lot of growth in West St. Paul right now. We have 3,000 building lots approved and staged to go over the next, they're set to go over the next 10 years. So this is in addition to our current 2,100 homes in West St. Paul. So our focus in the next 5 to 10 years will be making sure that we're managing this growth at a steady, organized pace and ensuring our municipal service delivery remains exceptional. Our long-term vision for West St. Paul also involves the creation of a recreation campus at our Sonova Centre. We have a memorandum of understanding with Tennis Manitoba for outdoor and indoor tennis courts. and that project has currently been delayed due to COVID. We have parties interested in creating a soccer partnership, and we've also saved land for a future arena. So these are all exciting projects that we're hoping to see come to fruition in the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you. What are the top 3 issues on the radar for the RM of West St. Paul?
Thanks, Michelle. The top 3 issues for us on the radar, and we have a lot of exciting things going on in West St. Paul, so it is hard to narrow that down to 3. The top 3 issues for us, the first one would be Plan 2050 and Bill 37, as Mayor Shelley Hart had mentioned. This has the potential to have a really significant impact on our region in terms of development and growth. Plan 2050 indicates that the North Metro region will sustain the growth will be limited, and our numbers don't support that. So we're really concerned about what that looks like and making sure we get that right in the next 30 years. Some of those early numbers coming out are predicting a growth of 33 people in Selkirk, 1,700 people in West St. Paul, and people leaving St. Andrews. And we don't believe that those numbers are accurate. We see people coming to our communities and excited about opening businesses and having residential homes and building in our communities. So we're quite concerned about those numbers. We're going to be fighting hard to make sure that the data is correct, and that Bill 37, when it's implemented, doesn't have a negative impact on our growth in our communities. People are recognizing how important it is to do business in the north. We all work well as municipalities in the north capital region here. And we want to make sure that we continue to attract businesses and residents to live in our communities. So we're really going to be focused on this. And I would encourage business owners who are watching and listening to our discussion today to really become informed about that. The implications of not understanding the growth in our region is limited resources from the provincial and federal governments. And we all have similar infrastructure needs. East St. Paul has talked about their infrastructure needs, St. Andrews, St. Clements. So we want to make sure that information coming out as part of Plan 2050 is not discouraging businesses from doing businesses in our communities, and that we're not really losing valuable funding that helps us attract more business. Our second issue on the radar is preparing for community growth. As I mentioned earlier, we're really in a boom in West St. Paul right now. We have a lot of permits out for single family homes, a couple of multifamily, 2 huge retail areas coming. So in a community with 2,100 homes and businesses, what's really going to be important is that we get it right, that we manage our growth properly. Our focus is on well-planned and well-managed growth. We want to make sure our municipal services remain exceptional, and we want to retain our staff. So we are planning how that looks in terms of training and supporting staff. We're planning for a new municipal building to provide room for additional staff that we're going to need, particularly by law enforcement. We want to make sure we have the right people, the right equipment to look after the RM in terms of fire safety, public works equipment. So that's really a top priority for us. And our third would be through the community, our community strategic planning process. Residents of West St. Paul told us that the top priority was community safety and bylaw enforcement. And this is a really challenging issue that most of our municipalities are dealing with, of how do we enforce the bylaws and how do they have teeth to it. So it's something that we're all struggling with. In 2021, we'll be conducting a review of our bylaws to make sure that they're relevant, current, and enforced. We've focused on community education regarding the bylaws, and that will be enhanced using social media, our newsletters, and our newly trained West St. Paul community ambassadors. We're quite proud of them. We want to be able to encourage compliance in our community before enforcement. So they've been out in our community educating our residents about the bylaws that we have and providing friendly reminders to encourage compliance. They'll be going door to door, and they have already started. So that's been really helpful in COVID as well. And then safety has been a key focus for our municipality and will continue in 2021. Both a safe community in terms of being prepared for business continuity. What does it look like if COVID continues? And then we're also focused on a safe workplace. We want to make sure staff and council have a respectful place to work. So those are the 3 things that we've really been focused on as top issues on the radar for us right now, Michelle.
That was a great answer. And in that in that answer, you actually answered how your area balances the difference between residential, commercial, and agricultural development. So I won't ask you that question. But my next question would be, what is the leadership of West St. Paul doing to help guide the businesses out of the downturn?
In terms of us balancing during the downturn, I'd have to say COVID it's created challenges both globally and in our region. But fortunately, many of our businesses in West St. Paul have not been negatively impacted by COVID. In fact, many businesses in our community are thriving. And part of the reason for that is West St. Paul does not have our large retail sector at this time, which has really been the hardest hit by COVID, the public health orders around business closures and limited customers. So we haven't seen that yet because we're really just in the early stages of retail development in West St. Paul. Many of our businesses in West St. Paul are part of the construction industry. So as home builders, contractors, roofers, concrete companies. And so with the housing market booming in West St. Paul, many areas in Manitoba, these companies are doing exceptionally well. Our local restaurants in West St. Paul have adapted, and like many other restaurants in our communities, they've moved to takeout service really early in the pandemic. These business owners have told me that they've never been busier. So they've done really well, and our community has really supported them. I was proud to see businesses help each other. For example, we have Rivercrest Restaurant, the Tavern, was providing food to the Royal Manitoba Yacht Club last season. They provided them with pizza, and so that helped the yacht club stay open and provide services, and it created additional business for the tavern. So this kind of cooperation across local businesses is really just what we needed in our communities to help weather the COVID storm. As a municipality and council member specifically, we continue to highlight the importance of supporting local business. Last summer, I devoted a week to touring our local restaurants and posting photos and menus on social media every day to encourage our residents to support restaurants. And that was really successful. We had a lot of business owners get in touch with us and thank them for that. Social media is really an important tool that we've been able to use. And we really, it just highlights that we all have a role to play in supporting local business, especially during challenging times. Our council has approved the creation of new commercial lots, 5 new lots on Capitalist Drive by our Sonova Center. And we also created additional lots in our business park, which helped increase the size of our business park by 30%. We approved a 12-lot subdivision in a commercial retail area that will have all the infrastructure installed by the end of summer. So these approvals and our private partnerships create additional opportunities and support business development in West St. Paul. And so we've really, businesses have been able to capitalize on the housing growth and the commercial and retail growth, and we're doing everything that we can to facilitate and support that. And finally, our council has committed to keeping our municipal taxes low, significantly lower than the City of Winnipeg and other municipalities. Last year, we had a minimal increase of 1.8 below the cost of living, and this year we're 1.97, recognizing that our residents and local businesses are dealing with a global pandemic. We didn't want to have negative tax increase. We want to be able to continue to provide that exceptional service. And as a smaller municipality with 2,100 homes, it's really important that we balance low taxes with the need to provide exceptional service. Our municipality operates really efficiently with a relatively small staff, and we continue to provide all essential services to residents and businesses during the global pandemic.
Great answers. Thank you very much, Mayor Cheryl Christian from West St. Paul. Due to time, we're going to move on to the RM of St. Clements, Mayor Debbie Fiebelkorn. Welcome. So my first question for you, Debbie. What are the ways the area balances the residential, commercial, and agricultural development that's happening in the RM St. Clements now?
Thank you for that, Michelle. Well, the RM of St. Clements is committed to sustainable growth, which means growth is repeatable, ethical, and responsible to and for current and future communities. It means future development needs to contribute positively to the environment, social structure, and financial health of the RM. It means being more efficient and maximizing our current infrastructure. Good planning is essential to providing services at a reasonable costs for generations to come. A poorly planned community could result in additional maintenance expenses without the property tax revenue to support the cost. We will continue to identify opportunities to increase housing options and lead to an expansion of our tax base. Economic development is important as well in order to find ways to make investment in St. Clements attractive. This could mean an expansion of industrial and commercial lots or targeted rezoning efforts. Protecting our agricultural lands will continue to be a priority for the municipality. Thank you.
Thank you. What is the long-term vision for the Arm of St. Clements for the next 5 to 10 years?
Thanks, Michelle. For the long term, our vision for the municipality is to continue to plan for expansion of infrastructure services with not only sewer, but water to provide the amenities and services people are seeking. We have received funding to expand our water treatment plant and have developed plans to expand on wastewater to contribute positively to the environment, social structure, and financial health of the RM. We need to continue and grow and attract young families. In order to do this, we need to provide amenities and services people are seeking. We are also working toward the construction of the South St. Clements Activity Center building as part of our recreation master plan. The grounds will continue to be worked on, and we look forward to opening the grounds and trails later this year. As well, opportunities are being explored for revenue growth through economic development to keep costs affordable for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. What are the top 3 issues on the radar for the Arm of St. Clements?
Okay, well, we are a very large municipality, and with our aging infrastructure, most of our roads being gravel and hard surface that are in need of upgrading or rebuilding. Asset management to address all of the assets in the RM is at the top of mind to find the most cost-effective methods in lowering the life cycle costs of all our assets. We also want to provide services to various areas of the municipality to bring housing and commercial development to the municipality. Comprehensive planning for roads, drainage, wastewater, and water is critical for future success. And I guess the third topic that we have on our radar is, of course, keeping taxes affordable for our citizens while providing better services. Although financial challenges continue for all municipalities, it is important that we keep our costs affordable for our ratepayers. Thank you.
What are the short-term goals under the 5-year vision for the Arm of St. Clements?
Okay, under the short-term goals, one of them is to bring more commercial and light industrial into the municipality by expanding our existing industrial park. The RM is focused on keeping the tax rate sustainable and protecting the environment. We will also be looking at areas to work with developers to provide age-in-place and affordable housing. Climate change and its impact on our existing drainage network, along with our ability to respond to unanticipated events, needs to be addressed in the short term, and Council has put in place budgets to address these items. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Debbie. My next question is, what is the leadership doing to help guide businesses in the Arm of St. Clements out of the hardest downturn over the past year?
Thank you for that, Michelle. This year, we will continue to address the many challenges as was to adjust to a new normal, and we continue to work closely with other levels of government in providing a safe and healthy community. This year, Council has budgeted $50,000 towards the development of biz improvement zones in Lockport and Grand Marais to work with our local businesses in these destination locations to develop strategies and projects to enhance the public realm for visitors. We will also seek input from our business leaders on ideas to improve the community. We are also looking at expanding our infrastructure services to both of these areas, including active transportation and trails. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Fiebelkorn, for your concise and well-informative answers. I'm going to move on now to the City of Selkirk. Mayor Larry Johannson, thank you for joining us today. My first question for you, Mayor Larry, is what is the long-term vision for the City of Selkirk for the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, thank you for the question, Michelle. One of the highlights, of course, is our strategic plan. Our administration, our council, we've all worked very, very hard to building a strategic plan that works. It has done well for us in the City of Selkirk. Highlights of it always goes to budget time. When our directors, when they come for an ask, when they come for a want, they know that it has to relate to our strategic plan. And I think that goes a long way in ensuring the future will be bright for the City of Selkirk. We had, when we did the strategic plan, we had a lot of citizen input, along with administration, along with council, along with our directors. So that's very important also. When you're building a strong strategic plan, you want residents to be contributing towards it also. We are going to, in the near future, be updating the strategic plan. So again, we'll be looking to our residents to come forward and to help us with it. This strategic plan is in place not only for this council, but it's in place for councils and mayors that will come behind us. And that's very, very important. As we know, if you go on a trip, you have to have GPS or a map to get you there. To have a successful community and to keep it successful, you have to have a strong strategic plan to get you there. So while councils may tweak the plan, administrations may tweak the plan going forward, if they stick to this strategic plan, they will be successful.
Thank you, Mayor Larry. What are the top 3 issues on the radar for the City of Selkirk?
Thank you, Michelle. Well, COVID is number one. I mean, it just goes without saying. It's just been terrible. Not only with the health issues, it's been hard on everybody. And my heart goes out to the businesses. My heart goes out to the citizens for everything that we've had to put up with during this pandemic. Our front line workers, the hospitals, the grocery stores, the protective services, they've all done fantastic in keeping us all going. So my hat's off to them. And like I say, COVID is a terrible thing. Land use planning is very, very important for us. As the media has reported, as I think everybody knows, we would like to have our own planning department. I think we're very close to it. We had a public hearing on it. We had 14 speakers. Everybody spoke in favor of us leaving, actually including the executive of the Red River Planning District. We want this to be amicable. We want it to be smooth. We feel that we can better service our city, our community. We can improve the turnaround times on permitting, occupancy permits, customer service, and we're ready to go very soon. The minister now has the application in front of him. He can sign off on it at his office. So I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping he does. This isn't something we just did overnight. We've worked at this for a long time. It's been years for us trying to put this together. to form our own department, and I think we're very, very close. So that's going to be exciting for us. Also, I'm worried about the plan, Bill 37, but also the Metro Region. This is another entity that scares me. The Metro Region, a lot of them, they address things that we've already have. We're leaders in climate change adaptation, capital asset management. I mean, we've worked with the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, Association of Manitoba Municipalities, helping them along with capital asset management, landfills, recycling, protective services, all these things. Selkirk is ahead on, and we're doing well with. Land use planning regulations scare me. We've worked so hard in the city to develop good relationships with investors, good relationships with developers. Our housing is going through the roof. We're doing well. Our commercial has never been higher. Our census has never been higher. The medical field, we just feel that, when we have our own planning department, if we can work closely with our investors and developers, it's going to bode well for our community, and we're going to see a bright future ahead. Growth, we're like I say, we're seeing growth like never before. I commend our administration. I commend our council. We were leaders in infill housing. Before infill housing became a hot topic, we were doing it. This council, this administration had the foresight to allow 33-foot frontage lots. We've built dozens of infill homes in the city of Selkirk, and it's done nothing but improve our north of Manitoba Avenue. Developers have taken 100-foot lots where there's been a dilapidated home on or a dilapidated building, taken that building off, and they can put 3 homes on that street. And they can go anywhere from 800 square feet to 2,400 square feet. 1-floor bungalow, 800 square feet developed, 2-story. We can go basement, we can go the main floor, and we can go to the upstairs. We have 2,400 square feet, and we can take a bungalow and we can do the basement. We have 1,200. So that's very, very important to us. And going forward with our developers, again, with our investors, we're going to plan and we're going to have a great future ahead. Our parks, our trail system, very important. I think if anything comes out of this pandemic, it's that people want to be outside. They want to be in the parks. I know myself, I walk the park every morning. In between Zoom meetings, the First Lady and I and the grandkids will go in the afternoon, and we'll meet people that have never been in the park, never been on the trails. And their first comments are, this is fantastic. Fantastic work of what the city has done in our parks. So I'm very, very pleased. And I think we'll continue with the trail system and continue improving our parks.
Thank you, Larry. That was great. Now, in that response, you answered the city of Selkirk balances residential, commercial development, and green space. So I'm going to move on to question. Your number one concern or issue is COVID. What is the leadership in the city of Selkirk doing to help guide the businesses out of the downturn over the past year?
Thank you, Michelle. We looked at it in a little bit of a different light. The role of municipalities, the role of good councils, good administrators, is to keep the services on. This is very, very important. We have done so much work with the keeping on of the water plant, keeping on of the wastewater treatment plant. People take for granted so often. They get up in the morning, they turn the taps on to make coffee, they turn the shower on, the toilets flush, and a lot of people don't give that a second thought. We, during the pandemic, knew that unless we do our role in keeping services going, there will be no business at all. If we ever had to empty that hospital, we have the largest psychiatric hospital in Manitoba. We have a huge regional hospital here in Selkirk. If we had to stop the water in there for any reason, there would be a pandemic akin to the pandemic we already have. Our administration had the foresight to make sure there was backup for these services, backup for the water treatment plant, backup for the wastewater treatment. We were able to secure a lot of retirees that would be able to step in. We all know if one of the people on a shift develops symptoms and tested positive for COVID, everybody has to stay home and self-isolate. So we were prepared for that. I'm proud of what they did. I'm proud of the way that we've kept the lights on and the services going. Taxes are another way that we can help businesses out. We have kept the last 2 years, we've kept taxes the lowest increases it's been in decades. We came in this year 1.5, and I think that bodes well with keeping the expenses low. We all know that all the municipalities, hydro, labor, construction, everything is going up. Everything's at the highest level it's ever been. It's through strong growth and keeping a tight lid on expenses that we are going to be able to keep the taxes reasonable and keep people in business.
Thank you so much. My final question to you, Mayor Larry, is what is the short-term goal for the city of Selkirk?
Well, we're going to encourage development, of course. We've had the most development I think the city has seen in the last couple of decades. We have purchased the largest tract of developable land in the city of Selkirk. The city has purchased that to be masters of our own destiny, to be able to control the growth in there. And that's 326 acres in the West End. It's also adjacent to 2 huge housing developments that are currently going on. In our conceptual and our strategic plan for that area, we want to see, of course, smart homes, smart housing going up. We're staying away from the multi-million-dollar homes and the great big lots. We're going to homes that we feel are going to be desirable. It's homes that are going to be manageable, efficient. The lots are going to be manageable, efficient, and we feel, and our developers agree with us, that this is the future. This is what people are going to want to see in the future. They don't want to spend the whole weekend cutting grass. They don't want to spend the whole weekend cleaning the house. They want to be out skiing, enjoying life. This development will have 90 acres dedicated to a regional park and to a neighborhood park. And this is very, very important. We know that green space is high on citizens as they look to relocate. We will have trails throughout the development. We will have a mountain bike course, and we are going to have a large lake that is going to have a sport paddling venue that is going to be exciting. And I think that this is going to be not only good for the kayaking clubs and the people that are interested in the boating in the area. I think it's going to be a draw that will bring people into our community and take a look at Selkirk.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Larry Johannson from the city of Selkirk.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for joining us today. And finally, we have the RM of St. Andrews. We have Councillor Matthew Prychun joining us today. Matthew, my first question for you today is, what are the top 3 issues on the RM of St. Andrews radar?
Thanks, Michelle. Hello, everyone. I wanted to start off and just say on behalf of Council and the RM of St. Andrews, unfortunately, Mayor Sewell and Deputy Mayor Hobie were not able to attend today, so Council and Administration has nominated me to be here. So I thank everyone for being here and thank you for hosting this event. Short-term goals, Michelle, is the question?
What are the top 3 issues on the radar at the RM of St. Andrews?
Top 3 issues and on top of our radar would be basically the complete successful launch of our brand new wastewater system. This has been going on for many, many, many years, and we are finally in the final stages of getting all the agreements signed and wrapping up the entire project. We need, as a council and as an RM, we need to sharpen our focus on long-term planning, basically for our community, such as recreation, solid waste, flood risk, and housing needs. We need to get the community involved in this project, and it will only help our council and future councils to basically develop a better understanding of our community and to really take advantage of the opportunities in our community. We need to have a clear, decisive vision as we prepare to grow and develop, our communities and be ready for those grants that do come available. The RM is really trying hard to improve our communication with residents. That's through new social media pages coming, websites, and everyone still loves those newsletters that show up in the mailbox. It's something we have to get on and start doing more of. We as a council continue to work hard to, improve our teamwork as we work together. Sometimes we might not all agree, but healthy debate is important, and we need to arrive to the best decisions for all residents in the community. And one really exciting thing is we are in the process of finalizing a brand new community safety officer program, so a CSO program, which means St. Andrews will have a full-time peace officer, and this will be to help educate and deal with bylaw issues in the RM. And this will make St. Andrews one of the first RMs in the province to do something like this. So we're extremely excited to bring that forward to our residents.
Thank you, Matthew, for the honest and forthright answers. My next question would be, what are the short-term goals for the RM of St. Andrews, the under 5 years vision for you?
So short-term goals, we, I think, at the top of the list would be flood-proofing the RM. That's always an issue every year. And previous councils and this council spent a lot of time working on that and making sure that the RM is completely flood-proofed. We are in the process of, again, finishing up our wastewater system, and we need to make sure that we get failing septic fields eliminated and that we have these properties connected to our new municipal system. We need to move towards a more sustainable approach in solid waste, in treatment, collection, and diversion. We need to start introducing new development standards as far as density policies, bylaws, initiatives to basically adapt to the new trends, and we need to find a better use of our land. And we want to continue to develop our trails along Highway 9, which is really important for our residents. In active transportation, and it'll also help, bring new people to our community to take a look at what we have to offer in St. Andrews.
Great. So that leads us right into how is the RM going to balance the residential, commercial, and agricultural development within such a large municipality?
So, for many years, again, we've been dealing with the wastewater situation, and our brand new facility starting and opening. We have soon we'll have 1,800 homes in St. Andrews that will be able to access an affordable alternative to septic fields. And as we start this new year, we feel confident that the community is going to be, in a better situation moving forward for growth. Our good roads are really important to our residents and to our farmers. In 2020, the RM of St. Andrews earned the best maintained system of municipal roads. That was an award given to us for the District of Manitoba Good Roads, the competition. Extremely gratifying to see that happen and to see our public works get, recognized for the hard work and the many, many long hours they put in, especially during the public health restrictions. It's definitely made everybody's job a little bit more difficult. And last year, we also hired a brand new economic development officer for the RM who will basically help guide us in all aspects of growth for St. Andrews and, focusing on housing and commercial development.
Excellent. What are the long-term goals for the RM of St. Andrews for the next 5 to 10 years?
So long-term goals, I see we need more, diverse housing options in St. Andrews, light density, a place primarily for young adults and seniors who want to remain in St. Andrews for a longer time, and maybe they don't want 2 acres of land. This will definitely make homes a lot more affordable than the average home in St. Andrews. We need to develop, surface water management infrastructure. We need to deal with climate change, ag lands, drought, high rain events. That type of stuff is important. We need to continue to grow our active transportation for our residents for walking and bike paths throughout the community. We need to develop new recreation spaces. Is really, really important. It's definitely been identified in our master plan We just need to take some action and continue to move that forward. And I think a real major focus for the RM has been to increase our commercial opportunities and to develop, a solid plan that's going to work with the new Plan 2050.
Great. Final question for you, Matthew. What is the leadership in the RM of St. Andrews? What have they done to help guide the businesses in the RM out of the hardest downturn during COVID?
So we have really tried to work with, everyone involved in our community. We've been fortunate to work with the province to get, some funding available to help primarily our community centers and halls and churches and those people that are in real dire need. We've been working on that lately. We've been spending, there's been conversations with the RM of St. Clements dealing with the community bridge development program that's going to be happening. We know there's been some issues, obviously, with the COVID, and now moving forward is going to be a bit of a nightmare dealing with some of those businesses that are crossing the river on both sides. And we're in the process of trying to, figure out how to put some trails in place, maybe streetscape a development along Highway 44. So we're trying to work with those people. We've also been doing a lot of advertising and providing lots of effort to the St. Andrews Airport to encourage, business development and really develop that commercial space there available. And of course, trying to get things wrapped up for the wastewater system, providing various jobs, lots of contracting work, and connecting those new homes. And once that system is in place, and it will only bring more people to our RM and create a lot of jobs for a lot of people.
That's great news. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Councillor Prychun, from behalf of the RM of St. Andrews. So at this time, I would like to thank all of our partnering municipalities in the city, the mayors, the council, the staff, everyone who joined us today. On behalf of Jim Pelche, the president of the Selkirk Biz, our executive, our board and staff, we would really like to thank you for taking the time to come out and let us know what's happening in the state of the region where you are. For the Selkirk Biz, we have some exciting things happening here. As you know, we have the Biz Bucks program. To date has now had over $650,000 in sales in the gift card program, which is money that has stayed in our community, which is just fantastic since December of 2018. We are going to be looking at an online market for the Selkirk Biz members and adding participating retailers to that. We have a new website launching very soon that will include the virtual marketplace. So it's going to be a one-stop shop for businesses to promote products, services, job opportunities, and events also to reach their customers. Another thing that we're looking forward to, hopefully in 2021, is a new Chamber Eats program, which is called Eat Along the Red, to help our local restaurants and food services in the area. So we're looking forward to that coming on board. So on behalf of Selkirk Biz, I would like to thank you all again for joining us today, and have a wonderful afternoon. I hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Michelle. Bye, everybody.